And this really tells you, you know, your down payment is $1,448. It brings you out 10 years as to what your 10-year realized cost would be, excluding your upfront loan. So you're at $4,600 over a 10-year period. That's what you're putting into as a cash flow. By spending $1,448, you're going to be putting in $4,600 of saved monies back into your cash flow. And it's really, it's a simplified math. There's no mystery to it. There's no, everybody uses these same formulas. DCEO is really the key. They just revised their June 2012. They just revised it in October 2012. And I thought we were going to have an issue with some reduction dollars. In fact, they did increase some of the other LED products. So now, you want to look at doing wall packs or other things down the road, those types of outdoor lighting, and indoor too, are part of the DCEO program. So you can get the funding incentives, not grants, incentives to pay for your equipment and then let them run.
Is DCEO state or federal?
That's state. That's state of Illinois.
This is being funded.
Oh, yes. Everybody here funds it. Everybody here funds it. Whether we fund it in our individual or our businesses, we fund it. You look at your bill and you will see that something like 0.02 cents goes to ComEd or their SMART program, which is the private side.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about the state eliminating it?
No. The state, Springfield does not control those purse strings.
Okay.
So we buy the fixtures from you, you give us the paperwork, we send the paperwork to Springfield, they send us the money.
That's exactly how it works. That's exactly how it works. And we can sit down, and I'm from these villages, I'm doing them some surrounding villages, so I'm quite familiar with the paperwork, how it flows to people in Springfield, knowing what they look for, and it's a pretty straightforward process. We're not, the one thing they say is that they will only fund up to 75% of the project while we're well under that target, so we shouldn't have any issue with that.
So where it was selected to or proposed to put these LED fixtures?
We put in our 6 Cobra heads. We only own 6 Cobra heads in the village, and they're the entrances under subdivision.
Entrances? Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And the thought, Kevin, is that, you know, we've been exploring LED lighting.
Yeah.
And so we thought if we start with the 6 Cobra heads, it's kind of a small sample to see how we like the LED lighting. How well does it work? You know, is it going to hold up through our harsh winters? And, you know, all those questions that come up.
Okay.
Does it make a brighter light? Because a lot of people say our entrances are dark, and it's, you're also supposed to be able to direct the light better to where you want it on the road. I do want to give the floor, if I may, to Eric from Chris Electric again. Eric has not only proposed doing the electric work to install these fixtures if we buy them from you, but I do want to be fair and say that Chris also, Chris Electric presented another fixture that we should consider. So Eric, do you want to explain the difference between the two?
As far as the information I've seen, it was limited on the fixtures that this gentleman proposed. The fixtures that I proposed, wattage, lumens, it was a direct match to the 175s. A little lower wattage, that's how they're listed, the lower wattage. The lumens were very similar. The big difference is, and I'm not sure about the costs right now because I don't have the paperwork in front of me. The difference that I did see was the fixtures I proposed are made by a company called Cree. Lumark, they're the leader in the LED industry, and they actually carry a 10-year warranty on not just the driver, also on the LED and the housing.
The paperwork that everybody has says 5-year, 10-year, because you didn't have the updated, but you said it updated to 10-10.
I did actually email that.
I can't, it won't open up
okay.
properly.
They did, you know, they did tell me, Cree has now expanded their warranty to 10 years on not just the housing, also the driver. So it is 10 years. If I have it on my phone, I'll try and email it again, but big difference is, to me, is this is the leader of the industry. They've been doing tests for years. I'm not sure, I know the distributor I get it for will actually handle the paperwork, the deco paperwork, and you guys will either one, it'll come off the cost of the project or product from my distributor, or the check will be written directly to you guys. But they handle the paperwork.
They handle
They handle the paperwork.
They can't even put it.
Well, they assured me they do. I mean,
They
I've
can't
done-
because this is municipality. they have-
I'm sure a signature has to be put on it.
No, they have to do the whole.
Yeah, they see, yeah. Like I said, I mean, I've worked with this company, Energy Solutions, now for 5 years, and in fact, I just took them into a customer money, and they actually handle all the paperwork other than a signature,
Right.
and then they still do the customer.
Well, in
signature.
fairness to Jim, though, I will say what I do like, not knocking at all what you're saying, Eric, because I respect your work greatly, and it sounds like this is a quality fixture that you're presenting. But I do like the fact that Jim is within a whistle's call, and he provides us with all these nice reports, because
Working with me for lots of hours.
Yes, because the bigger challenge we're going to have here, and I want everyone to keep in mind, is we know that our mercury vapor streetlights, residential lighting, is starting to fail. It's going to become obsolete. Parts will be harder to get. And so it is advantageous and behooves the village to change the residential lighting in the next several years. The question is LED the way to go? So we're going to experiment with these Cobra lights. And also, I would like to continue to work with somebody, and it is nice to have somebody that can hold our hand and provide these kinds of reports at no cost. So is there any further questions for either of these gentlemen?
One question, I just didn't hear very, can you or somebody you work with get the DCEO paperwork also?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. And I can provide the graphs and stuff too, I just limited time to prepare. So this company, Energy Solutions, like I said, I've been working with them for 5 years now, and they can provide all the, same information.
Thank you.
Eric, one question. We have a situation on one of our fixtures going into tall oak. You were complaining about, the reflection. And when I drove by there the other day, when Jim presented it, you said you could adjust the LED lighting fixture and direct it to other locations. Is it the same thing with the fixture?
Oh, yeah.
We have?
Oh, yeah.
And
It
what
works on a pivot arm, so.
Oh, okay, so in other words, if we have, since we have, it looks like the street light's located on the wrong side of the street. It's on the exit, not on the entrance side. So is there any way that we can pivot these heads?
How far a distance are you referring to?
Probably, okay, there's a medium in between, so it's, it's pretty much stuck on the exit, and we need it to shine on the entrance because you can't see.
It's this one here, Eric, straight down to 12.
On Tall Oak?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all,
when you enter that.
I can show off my expertise. There's different configurations. There's a three, what's it called, a three,
Type distribution.
yes, a type of distribution. There's a 3 and a 4, and those are pretty standard things that all the LEDs can do. And by the one that we choose, it can throw the light either this way or in more of a
well, what I'm saying is you're gonna have to move that over approximately probably 20 feet.
20 feet?
Not necessarily, no, that's not true.
Well, I'm just saying you have to tilt it so it shines that far, and how much luminance are you gonna be losing by tilting it? And
Yeah, you don't want to tilt, when you tilt LED, you defeat the LED purpose, because LED is a directed light.
Right.
So tilting is really not a good option.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
So
If you're over here and you need it over here,
So we
what are
make,
the
Change your
options?
options.
What are the options? What?
You change your optics.
Right, okay.
So we just put it, so we go up and we say, okay, if you need light from point A, which is the pole, to point B, which is on the other side of the street, then we put it into our, I have an AGI 32 program that runs all the photometrics. It'll tell you right where that light's gonna go. And then the light is then built to that spec. You know, so it's not
That's
just,
what I was saying, so we don't have the cost of having to do a pole or something like that. We could be able to.
right. Now, there are issues, right, there are issues that if that pole, you know, isn't perpendicular to the road and it's kind of canted one way or the other, you're gonna have a lot of, a very hard time trying to get that light to put where you want it to go. If the pole is where it was designed by Lake County, I think Lake County was the one that did the design on, for Hainesville, and probably the subdivision going in.
I don't know, they did it for the subdivision.
Well, this is not, all,
No, it's
these are
design built,
on,
the subdivisions are design built. So,
Yeah, well, the entrance had to meet the
oh,
code.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, is the entrances.
because they're all.
So those had to meet the Lake County code. So those had to meet the Lake County standard for that entrance. Or
It's hard to see that medium when you're turning. I mean, I would pass it when
Now
I
you
would
know
pass
what I
it.
was talking
Yeah,
about.
you know, also you look at you and you can see the medium, but you can't see the road because it's all.
The light is on the wrong side.
Right.
You almost want to turn in where you should be exiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's lit.
Let's take the medium out. Beautification, we don't do any of it. I'm saying.
The only thing I have to say,
Jared, just because you live next door.
the only thing I have to say about the LED is I had very a small amount in there, because when I'm gonna be the guy going up there to work on these, wherever the warranty is based, make sure you get it in writing that they cover the labor. My father always told me, you don't bring eggs to a chef and cook them and complain about the omelet. Make sure that they put it in writing that they cover the warranty of working on replacing them at a substantial a wage that anybody's going to go up there. Because there's some manufacturers that will get, okay, we'll give you $15 to change a ballast on a fixture. We all know $15 doesn't even cover the lift to get over there. So to me, it doesn't matter. I'm sure I'll be the guy hanging them anyway, but just make sure you get it in writing that they cover prevailing wage, labor, at a minimum, to change them or work on them.
Well, the labor standpoint actually is if there's a labor issue, the factory warranties that my factory, the three USA manufacturers that I rep, they not only will warranty the product and the components, but they'll send somebody out. Besides this, they'll send out their own electrical team. We're doing it in Palatine right now. We had a driver issue, which turns out it was the municipality's issue with their electrical system, which was generating a high harmonic and a lot of high voltage. So what was happening, because it's solid state, it was starting, and we have over 450 of these units in this park structure. 28 of them were going bad, and we were all, this is absolutely wrong. We started doing some investigating. We found that it was the system, the electrical system, that was causing the issue. Manufacturer still, Evolution, the overhead, still backed the product, still hired a contractor to go to replace all 28, and still warranty all 28 of the fixtures as new. So they corrected the problem, and the warranty will continue. So we're very confident in how the manufacturer goes and corrects an issue, whether it's their problem or not. They stood by the product and they continue to stand by the product. So you should have no issue with that whatsoever.
Jeff, any suggestions or comments?
We've been talking about, for how many years now? At least 4. You know, we all know that the mercury vapor is going to go by the wayside. I know Georgiana's put a lot of time and effort into doing a lot of the research. Unfortunately, I haven't had, you know, I'm spread thin enough as it is. So I think we should, you know, proceed with at least the 6. Let it go for the season. Let's see what happens and see how they operate. And then, you know, the coach can base a decision or, you know, which direction we want to go. You know, because sooner or later, within the next 5 years, we really need to have a plan in place on how we're going to replace these existing